Hi, this is Rod Blagojevich, and Rory Trotter asked me to send a message to Michael Richards and to Sam Lee. You're lucky to have a friend who cares about you, by the way. I thought I'd start out by telling you that because he wants me to give you guys some advice on investments. Now, I'm not very good at that. In fact, I don't really know a lot about what are or what are not good investments. But I do know a little bit about life. I've lived a not uneventful one. I know what it's like to be up on top on a high mountain and be pulled off of that and buried in a deep, dark valley. And by the way, I didn't let you down. I want you to know I didn't break a single law or cross a single line. I wouldn't say the things they wanted me to say. I would never give in. So they threw my ass in prison for 14 years. But lo and behold, 8 years into that not very happy journey, President Trump, of all people, reaches in, a Republican president, to rescue a Democratic governor and send me home to my daughters and to my wife. And for that, the four of us will forever be grateful to President Trump. And I'm grateful for this chance to be able to talk to you and pass along Rory's concerns and his interest in you. And by the way, again, you're very lucky to have a guy and a friend like Rory who cares. He tells me the two of you have made an investment, all of your money you put into the Tesla stock, and he's concerned. He doesn't want you to lose it all, and he thinks that you would be better served and be more prudent if you were to diversify into mutual funds and ETFs, the Standard & Poor 500 and SPI, SPY. I'm not quite sure I know what that is, but that's evidently something that has to deal with financial transactions and investments. So he asked me to pass along some advice. He calls me a wise leader, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much, Rory Trotter. But the advice he would like me to pass along is that you might want to, instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, you may want to think about diversifying and spreading the risk a little bit, and perhaps also spreading some of the opportunities that might be available if you're not all invested, all in one particular place. In other words, good, sound, conservative investments. This is what Rory would like me to pass along to you. Again, I'm not at all schooled on what are good stocks or what are not good stocks, what are good mutual funds, what are not good mutual funds. I just don't know those things, and I've been away so long, I just don't know those things. And frankly, never have. In my next life, I think I'm going to take a real interest in that. Might be a better way to live, actually, than a political life. But that's a different conversation for a different Cameo. But here's the point I'd like to make, which I think is consistent with what Rory is concerned about and would like me to pass along to you. You know, there's a line in the poem by Rudyard Kipling: if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. Now, the poem goes on to talk about how you got to deal with the ups and downs of life, mostly the downs, and how you overcome adversity. But we don't want to see you guys in that position where you've risked it all in one turn of pitch and toss and lose it all. And so therefore, the thought is, as I indicated moments ago, you may want to rethink that strategy, and instead of having it all in one place, maybe leave some in Tesla and then put some of the other investments in other places. So that you can, as I said again a moment ago, spread the risk and perhaps even maximize your chances to develop more opportunities, because you'll have more places that might actually grow for you. Here's what I would say, just generally about life. You know, it's an old truth that Aesop writes about this in his fables. You know, it's the race between the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. The hare, well, he put it all out there, bolted off the starting line and got way ahead, and so far ahead he got arrogant and overconfident, decided that he had the race won, and he decided to take a nap, rested his head against a tree and fell asleep. And that tortoise, he just kind of got off to a slow start, and he just kept going slow and slow and slow, but also steady and steady, and he never stopped, and he kept moving forward, and lo and behold, he passes the hare, and lo and behold, by the time the hare wakes up, and realizes he may have screwed the whole thing up, he bolts to the finish line and almost catches the tortoise, but doesn't. The tortoise crosses the finish line and wins the race. So what's the moral to that story? It is slow and steady wins the race. I think it also teaches another lesson, which is you can't just put it all in one place. You gotta be conservative. You gotta be careful. You gotta be, you can't be so optimistic that it becomes foolishness. And therefore, you can't just assume that by doing it a certain way, that by itself will ultimately lead you to the promised land. Now, I'm kind of rambling here a little bit, but I hope you're getting the gist of what I'm trying to say. And it is that your friend Rory cares about you. He doesn't want to see you guys blow it all in one place. He thinks that a more conservative approach, slower and steadier, in the long run will serve you better. Now, that's about the best I can do when it comes to investments. Let me step away and share one quick insight, then I'll let you guys go. These things are supposed to be 30 seconds long. I'm already at almost 5 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. So let me see if I can get through this. How nice it is to have a friend like Rory who cares about you guys. You know, I've been gone for so long, and I learned a lot of lessons by that not so happy experience. And maybe the most important lesson I learned is, you know, not only the importance of love, but the appreciation of love. And you know, there's a lot of wickedness in the world. There's a lot of evil in the world. When I read the Bible and scriptures teach this, and the history books prove it, that the course of human civilization is really the struggle between good versus evil. And you know, you watch the news and you see almost always bad news. Where I was, there were some real criminals there, no question about that. Most of the people in prison I was with are criminals and were convicted of crimes. And though a lot of them are not bad guys, a lot of them first-time offenders who are over-sentenced. That's another conversation for a different time. But there were some murderers there. There were some not-so-good people there. The point is that it is, I believe, in the course of human events, a struggle between good versus evil. And since I've come home, I've been doing these cameos for the past 4.5 months, and I've done hundreds of these. Requests like this from Rory to friends like you. And you know what it shows me? It shows me that notwithstanding the wickedness in the world and the evil and the bad news that we get by watching the news or reading the papers, there's more good in the world than there is bad. There are a lot of good people out there who care about others. And you guys are blessed and fortunate to have a friend like Rory who cares about you. And I like to get messages like this and give them, because it just reminds me again about all the good that's out there, and it just uplifts me. It makes me feel better about how things are, the world that my wife and I have brought our daughters into, and the world we hope will be a better place as our daughters grow up and go out and to pursue their lives as they are getting older and growing up. So, you're lucky guys, you two, to have a friend like Rory who cares about you as he does. I wish you guys all the best. If you decide to stay with all Tesla all the time, all in with Tesla, I hope you guys make millions. I hope you make tens of millions. I hope you make hundreds of millions. But should you decide to rethink your strategy and follow the thoughts and concerns that Rory raises, I wish you equal success in being successful in those investments too. Whichever way you go, my friends, God bless you and good luck. Now here's one last thing. I'm going to leave you with a few lines from a timeless Irish prayer. These words apply. I pray they apply to you, Michael, to you, Sam, to Rory, to all your friends, your families, and your loved ones. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand.